Hello, everybody, and Merry Christmas. And I am cooking up a Christmas dinner on this Christmas Eve 2017. Now, one of my favorite things to make is a meatloaf. Now, I've never been a big fan of eating meatloaf, but I love making it. And in this big bowl, now you want to need a big bowl to work with. I got 3 pounds of hamburger meat. Now, you can also use ground turkey, which that is so much better for you. And you don't have to deal with the grease that has to be poured out at the end of cooking time. And to this, I'm going to go ahead and add my seasonings. I'm going to add some Italian seasoning. You want to make sure that your meatloaf is seasoned very well. And I'm going to get some onion powder. Now, you can tell that I am a big fan of using onion powder, garlic powder, and Italian seasoning. Those are my favorite spices to work with. I've got some garlic powder here, a little bit of salt. Now, since there is a lot of meat, I'm using about a tablespoon or so of salt. Okay, and I'm going to use some Worcestershire sauce in it. It brings a good flavor to the meatloaf. Maybe a couple of tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. I know I'm not good at saying it, but you know what I'm talking about. And ketchup. I mean a lot of ketchup in this meatloaf. I'm putting about a half a bottle of ketchup in my meatloaf. And then I'm going to put some more on the top when I get ready to put it, before I put it in the oven. Now, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to stir this up, and I need to add 3 eggs in here. Make sure that you use clean hands. The eggs are going to help keep the meatloaf moist. Now, you do not want to over mix the beef mixture. Sometimes I'll put just a little bit more ketchup in here to help it out. Now, I'm going to add, this is about 5 or 6 slices of bread that I crumbled up and soaked it in some milk, and that's going to help it to become moist too, moisten the meatloaf. And I'm going to add some oatmeal. You just need probably about maybe a half a cup or so. You don't want to overdo it with the oatmeal, but the oatmeal and the dry breadcrumbs will hold it together. Probably about maybe a half a cup or so of dry breadcrumbs. Now we're ready to stir it all together. Just make sure that everything is well incorporated. Everything's starting to come together very well. I want to say that is ready, set, go. Now I'm going to put it in this great big old pan over here. Instead of shaping it into individual loaf size, I'm going to make one big meatloaf out of it. Okay. Now, I'm going to wash my hands. When you're handling raw meat, make sure that you wash your hands before you handle anything else. And I'm going to pour some ketchup on the top. Now, we love lots of ketchup on ours, but you can use your best judgment. I got my oven preheated to 375. And when I put it in the oven, I'm going to bake it for about 1 hour and 15 minutes. And I know that is a long time to cook a meatloaf, but you want to make sure that your meatloaf is well done. Stay tuned. Hello guys, my meatloaf is cooking in the oven. It's still got quite a ways to go. While that is cooking, I'm making some pasta salad, and I've shown this before. I'm making pasta salad by using this veggie rotini that you can buy at the grocery store, an English cucumber, and I sliced up some tomatoes for a good old pasta salad. Now I'm going to make ranch dressing. Now if you want to use store-bought ranch dressing, that's totally up to you. But I like making my own ranch dressing. In this bowl, I already got a couple of cups of buttermilk and maybe a cup and a half of mayonnaise. And to that, I'm going to add a little bit of Italian seasoning, probably about a couple of teaspoons or so, maybe some garlic powder, some onion powder, some salt, a couple teaspoons of salt. I'm just taking a guess at it, and a juice of 1/2 of lemon. Make sure that you go to the store and get you a lemon and come home and cut it in half and squeeze it. Get all the juice out of it. That's what makes it really good. And whisk it together. And I'm going to always like to taste it, see how it tastes like. That's good. That is ready to be poured onto the rest of the salad. I probably won't need all of it. It's ideal if you put it in a jar and refrigerate it. You can use it for later use. I'm going to stir it together. Now later on I may put a little bit more ranch dressing in there. And there you go. Make sure that you refrigerate this, and you'll have some good pasta salad. Now stay tuned for part 2 of my Christmas dinner.